Hello everyone, I'm here today in my extremely messy fabric storage room. And yes, you heard me correctly, this is a whole room in my home dedicated to storing fabric. I don't have a problem, you have a problem. But this room doesn't just hold all of my fabrics, it also holds the fabrics for my cloak company, Enchanted Moth Hollow, as well as my products here in the sidewall. It has become a very multifunctional room, but over the time I have noticed a slow creep of stuff. One second. And I'm also going to share with you my holy grail for how I sort and organize all of this fabric. So I'm going to stop procrastinating and actually clean this room now. Wish me luck. So of course the first order of business was to actually clean off the floor so I could walk. As you can see, I have quite the collection of stuff on the floor, including cosplays, cloaks, and other bits of fabric. I mean, just look at this ancient Siri sword cosplay, that I still love, by the way. Now that we have the floor cleaned off, mostly, I'm gonna get into actually sorting my fabrics, which will involve me taking a piece of fabric. Let's take this beautiful starry one, for example, taking a quick photo of it so that I know what it looks like, writing down its characteristics and size. And with that information, I'm going to go to my online database and insert all of that information that I have gathered, including the photo, online. So that way I don't have to come in here and dig around and see how much I have. I will just know how much and what it looks like just from a click. I'm not sure how long this will take, but I did start a little bit a while back ago and a spider did fall on me, so I'm a little bit worried there. But hopefully it shouldn't take that long and I'll have all of my cosplay fabrics sorted. So this is how I continue to do all of the fabrics. I took a photo, I wrote down any and all information I could, and folded it up to do the next. Now you're asking, why did I do this? Well, in short, I tend to buy fabrics that I already have. If you see, there's a lot of duplicates here, and I wanted to make sure that with my online database that I knew I had this fabric in stock and how much I had of it. So just trying to cut down on buying more fabric because at this point it's a problem. And if you're wondering if this took a long time, yes, it did. I think I was sitting here for 2.5 to 3 hours just sorting all of my fabrics. But it was worth it, and now I know what I have in my stash for my next project. And once my fabric was all put away in their respective boxes, I just returned my cubes back to the Kallax storage. I only really organize my cosplay fabrics because my EMH fabrics just need a full audit, which I don't really have time for in this video. Now that my fabric is all stored and organized, it's finally time to do something with these bad boys and those bad boys. One of the best ways to store a lot of fabric like I have over here is to store them on those big rolls that they come on. However, I'm not sure if you can see, but the Kallax behind is sort of leaning a little bit due to the sheer weight of all the fabric we have there. So my plan is to take these two Kallaxes I have right here and to move them this way, and then take these rolls of fabric on this side and just move them onto that side. So I'm gonna see how well I can push this Kallax over without knocking off all of the fabric that's inside. I really do love having bolts of fabric, but I do need to find out a more elegant solution to store them rather than just leaning them up against the wall, just because it adds just so much extra stress and struggle trying to get them out. So I'm trying to come up with a new solution about how to wall mount them, so if anyone has any tips or like has done that themselves, please let me know. And here's the spot for the new bolts, but when I was putting them up, I noticed that this Kallax had drawers on it, and it was bumping it into the bolts, which, not good. So I went ahead and moved the smaller Kallax to the back, and that one doesn't have any drawers, so that should help with the problem. And speaking of bolts, I went ahead and organized just this little pile of bolts that I have for EMH because they had grown quite disorganized as I keep on pulling them out and using them. Now that my fabric is all in their correct databases and spots, I need a way to find out what's actually in these cubes. When I had finished sorting and categorizing all of my fabrics, I went ahead and marked down what box I put them in and gave it a specific name. So then I had my roommate print a little sign holder for the cubes. This is to make sure I can actually know what the cube is called and reference my sheet online. I was originally thinking about using our little Rolo to make labels to stick on the cubes, but I don't know if you noticed, but most of these are fabric cubes, and that's usually what's on the market for cheap. But with this little sign holder, you pull out your cube, slide it on, and it's on there pretty securely. And now you can see at a glance what this cube is. This one's example text. And if you're like me and rely on your IKEA Kallax to sort everything and you want to use this 3D model, you can! And you can find it in my description down below. Now let's go ahead and apply these labels to all of our cubes. And while I waited for those to print, I went ahead and sorted out my fabric samples, which I had a ton of. I just put them in the sleeves and put them in this little binder, and voila! I did this all while talking to my channel members about social media tips and tricks that I've learned, so if you want to watch that video, become a member today! It was at this point that I started to get really tired because the sun had gone down. I had been in this room for over 8 hours now, and I just wanted to get done. So I did that by putting away the cloaks that I had left over in my storage bins and just getting them all hung up and pretty, so whenever I pack orders, I can just grab and go. Since my fabric storage is technically a bedroom inside my home, it does have this wonderful little secret inside. It's a closet. That's a secret. But this closet also holds many other secrets, which is more junk. I have 2 more decently sized boxes that I need to fit inside this itty bitty closet, so let's see if I can do that. I will say the closet is probably not the best of my organizational work. I just need to actually go ahead and go through my cosplays and my wigs and just get rid of some of them because I have too many. But with that closet done, it's now time to move over to the actual labels. So I just designed these labels on Canva and printed them out on my Rolo little sticky printer that we use for labels and just stuck them on. After that, I just slid them onto their respective cubes. As you can see, they go on pretty easily and they stay on, so whenever you pull them out, you don't have to worry about them falling off. And 10 hours later, we're done. I am very tired. I am very pleased with how it came out. I'm more pleased at the fact that I can actually walk into this room now, which beforehand was not the case. I also went ahead and fixed the underneath of our packing table, as well as cleared off and organized the top. We also moved this Kallax over to give us more room in this area. I think it really brightens up the room just because this room has one window right here, and that's the only sort of daylight sunshine we get in here, so opening this up helped a lot with the space of this room. And one of the longer parts of this day was, of course, categorizing and sorting all of the fabrics, which I have here in my beautiful, beautiful list. Of course, if I get more fabric, I'm kind of at my limits. I'm sure that won't happen. And of course, we have our beautifully 3D printed fabric labels right here, which you can find in our description down below. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video of me sort of fixing up my storage room. It's a little bit out of the ordinary, but I do have a huge project in the works right now, and I can't wait to show y'all in August. So if you don't want to miss that video and you want to see more like it, make sure you hit subscribe. And let me know down below what you think of this fabric storage system. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Anyways, I'll see you next time. See you later.